Hey there guys, it's me Lydnsey. As you know, I work here at the Vita Glam / Vita Slim office, and I am here today to do a quick little brow tutorial for you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. So I use eyeshadows for my brows. I've never been one to be super fancy with all those pomades and gels and everything. I'm a good old-fashioned eyeshadow girl. So what I like to start with, since I use the shadows, I need a good base to make sure that the shadow has something to cling onto. So the very first thing I do is, after I put my primer, I go ahead and put on my foundation. I'm using one of my beautiful Vita Glam brushes here just to go ahead and blend this out. Wow, that's beautiful. I love the way this brush blends out foundation. I was a beauty blender girl myself until I started using this brush, and it's incredible. Okay, great. Foundation is laid. Next step is just to get right into the brows. Now first things first, I really like to kind of push my brows into place using any brush I have on hand. Okay, great. Brows are in place. I'm using our Vita Glam angled brush in the rose gold diamond handle. And I will be using Vita Glam products today, of course. So I'll be starting with our Swipe Right palette. This is our packaging for it. And I will be starting with this lovely matte black shade over here. The very first thing I do is I draw my bottom line for my brow. So this is just going to carve out the shape that I want. I like me a nice dramatic arch. And if you make any mistakes while you make this line, don't worry. We can always fix it later with concealer. Okay, great. What I like to do to make sure both of my brows are as symmetrical as possible, whatever I do on one brow, I'll immediately go over and do on the other. Okay, now both of these lines are pretty much symmetrical. This one looks like it's a little bit lower on this side, so that means when I come over here, I'm going to try to bring it lower to fix it, just to match it. Now I'm going to go ahead and go in with our Naughty Nudes palette. I will be using this nice dark brown right here to kind of create an ombre effect with my brows. Okay, so now I'll go in here and kind of connect that line to the front of the brow and blend those two colors together. These are very, very blendable eyeshadows. Then you'll go over and once again do the same thing to the other brow. And now you kind of got two matching lines. Great. Okay, so now that you got your bottom lines as a base, you're gonna go in and do the exact same thing to the tops here. Going back in with that black from the Swipe Right palette. It's gonna go on top. And I generally follow the natural shape of my eyebrow. Give myself a little bit more of an arch since that's where my actual eyebrow hairs are lacking. So go ahead and go in and do the same thing to the other one. At this point you can go ahead and take that brown from our Naughty Nudes palette and kind of once again marry those two colors together for that nice little ombre effect. Now this is my favorite part. We're going to do the little wispy brush strokes at the front of the brows. So going back in with that black, you're going to go ahead. I usually start about halfway through the brow so I can really build up that ombre effect. And also deposit any of the product. If it's too heavy, I don't want to have like super heavy lines there at the beginning of the brow. So as you can see, I'm just doing really short like brush strokes. This is where the patience really has to come through. We're going in with that brown now to kind of create that ombre effect with more brush strokes. Okay, so the fronts of the brows are pretty much done at this point. And now you just go in and fill in the rest. For this, I like to kind of mix whatever colors I've been using. So I'm mixing the brown and the black together and just filling in that arch. Oh, I love the way this brow came out. I find I always have a favorite brow. Your eyebrows are sisters, they're not twins. You should treat them as such. Don't shame them for not looking exactly the same. Okay, so now we got a good basis to start with. Some nice thick, full Brooke Shields brows. Serving some Brooke Shields realness. Brooke, if you're out there, I love you. Okay, great. So now we can go ahead and really cut these brows, carve them out with some concealer. Today I'm actually going to be using another angle brush here by Vita Glam. Heard about people using angle brushes for concealer, so we'll be testing that out today. Look at how much better that looks already. And sometimes you'll make a mistake like I did and you'll cut a little too much off. You can just go in and fix it with whatever product you have remaining on your angle brush from earlier. So voila, there's part of one of the brows almost done. I'm gonna go back in with that concealer and go ahead and carve out the top. And really take your time with this if you can, guys, because this to me is the hardest part. Now you can really see the difference here between this one, which is nice and cut and carved and it's a really good shape. I mean, this one is pretty good shape too, but you can really tell the difference between which one has been cleaned up a little bit. This brow is done. Now we're going to go ahead and clean up this other brow. Oh yeah, I really like the way this one handles concealer as well. The great thing about using concealer to cut your brows like this is you can actually kind of prime your eyelids for your eyeshadow as well. And with this, there's a lot of eyeballing to make sure that the brows are symmetrical and kind of winding up in the same place. That honestly comes with practice. I won't lie, you're not going to immediately get your brow shape. Everybody has to go through that little weird brow period. But, you know, it's taken me a couple years, but I finally have figured out exactly what kind of brows work for my face and flatter me the most, in my opinion, obviously. Wow, I really love this brush for concealer. It applies it so smoothly and like not too much product at a time that it can get messy or overwhelming. It distributes the product perfectly. Like, look at how smooth that looks. I'm obsessed with how this applies. Okay, I think we're done here, guys. So those are my finished brows. I feel like they're pretty sickening if I do say so myself. You can see all my marks all over my hand. So my brows are done. Once again, you just start with the bottom line to create the shape, top line to complete the outline, fill it in, do some brush strokes, clean it up. You got some cute little brows. Then you're ready to go ahead and prime your eyes, put on that eyeshadow, throw on that lipstick, do the blush, do the highlight, do the whole thing, and bam, shalom, you're ready for your day. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. If there's any other looks you'd like me to go over, please let me know because I would love to continue teaching you.